56-21. That was the final score of the final game of the 2016 football season for Campus High School. This loss came at the hands of Hutchinson, one of the powerhouse football programs of the ABCTL. Campus finished a disappointing 3-6 in 2016, but many around the program sensed that the Colts were just about to turn the corner. The Colts returned 9 starters on offense, including quarterback Federico Harvey, running back Cameron Harvey, wide receiver Tyler Common, and offensive lineman Seth Fowley, Robbie Adamson, and Matt Clarkson. The defense also returned a number of contributors, including middle linebacker Quentin Hicks, defensive end Mateo Martinez, safety Braden Hake, defensive lineman Nathan Priest, and outside linebackers Cole Martins and Corbin Gosnell.
Coming in, we knew we had a chance to be pretty good, and felt like into the season that we could have one of our best seasons in a long time here. And after the loss to Hutch, where we had played them a little closer in the regular season and then didn't play as well in the playoffs, it was that was a disappointing loss. And I felt like the kids did a great job of starting to prepare for the summer and then worked extremely hard this summer preparing for the season.
The Colts geared up for the 2017 season at Benedictine College Camp in the summer. Against teams like Topeka Hayden, Bonner Springs, and St. James Academy, Campus made statement play after statement play, putting the state of Kansas on notice.
We had a chance to go to Benedictine and have a host Ottawa camp this summer, which were, I feel like those camps are a great opportunity for evaluating kids and positions. And I felt like we had great camps at both places. And, it's just the great opportunity to go to Benedictine is just to spend that time, 2 or 3 days there with the team and being able to share some things and do a little bonding too is really important.
Benedictine camp, I think, by far one of the highlights of my whole high school football career. Every year we go, it's just a great time. But I would say one of the best memories from the camp itself was one night we went in and we told everybody that there was a meeting in, I think, Matt Clarkson's room. And when everybody left, we went in their room and flipped all their mattresses over and hid all their pillows and their bed stuff up in the ceiling. And so when everybody came back, they were like, "Oh man, where's all my stuff at?"
Campus again looked impressive during the summer against Cape and Mount Carmel at the annual Ottawa camp at Colt Stadium. Against a team that would finish 6-4 in the City League, Harvey and company picked up yards and chunks, and Hicks in the defense stonewalled Capen's running attack. As fall began, the first 2 weeks of practice were crisp. The talent and experience of the 2017 Colts was on display at the black and white scrimmage. Cameron Harvey sprinted 80 yards for a touchdown on the scrimmage's first play. Later, Quentin Hicks turned on the Jets for the 75-yard touchdown reception.
like my specific position group, the receivers, we always talked about eye discipline, making sure that we're dialed in on the ball when the ball's in the air and the ball's ours when it's in the air. That game was just kind of, all right, we've worked all summer, all preseason. This is finally our time to go ball out, go show out.
When Game 1 versus Arc City finally arrived, the players knew it was time to either put up or shut up. Potential means you haven't done anything just yet. Arc City scored first on running back Tyree Watkins' 80-yard touchdown scamper. It would be their only highlight of the night. Federico Harvey answered right back with a touchdown scramble of his own. And Braden Hake intercepted a pass to end Arc City's last real threat. Campus reeled off 33 points to go up 40-7 at the half. The Colts started their season 1-0 with a 48-20 thrashing of Arc City.
For the game. We were mentally and physically ready for it. We've been practicing the whole summer and getting prepped for this moment, and from last year's loss, I think we were fired up and ready.
The Colts look to continue their winning ways in Week 2 against the Valley Center Hornets, but the offense was stagnant in the first half. Several turnovers and a grinded-out Valley Center run game put Campus down 14-0 at halftime. Harvey and the offense got things rolling in the third quarter. Rico connected with Tyler Common on this 31-yard reception. And Quentin Hicks muscled his way into the end zone and put Campus on the board. The second half would play out with some major fireworks. Rico made this spectacular pass to Tyler Common for the touchdown. A critical stop by the swarming Colts defense gave the offense one last chance to put down 7 points. It was the Harvey to Common connection that came up big again for this late touchdown to make it 21-20. Coach Slade opted to go for 2 in the win instead of to go for 1 in the tie. On a 2-point conversion, Rico Harvey was tackled at the 1-yard line.
Second half, we came back and played really well. Defense played great that game, and our offense was clicking. And we scored with 50 seconds left, and at that time I felt like we had the momentum going for us. We had come back, and at some point you're going to have to do something to win the game. So we thought about, we're going to do it right now, and we're going to try to get the victory during regulation time. And I have no regrets over the decision. It just happens. You got to make some decisions that are game changers, and that gave us a loss. And I felt like going into the next week that we even prepared well in practice, but we'd beaten Salina South the year before. Thought maybe we'd go in there and handle them, and they came out and took it to us, and we didn't respond real well.
The devastating loss carried over to Week 3 against Salina South. In a howling wind, the Cougars jumped all over Campus from the start. They led 21-3 at half and went on to win 42-12. It was the low point in the season. Coaches and players knew they had to get back to the one game at a time mentality. The very next week, they would be traveling back to Salina to take on the Salina Central Mustangs. There could be no more negative holdovers like this again. Salina Central was an opportunity to reboot the season, and right away the Colts played like it. Tyler Common made this circus catch right over the middle. Mateo Martinez delivered this crushing hit. And Cam Harvey juked this Mustang defender right out of his shoes. Perhaps nobody had a bigger game than Quentin Hicks, who caught 3 touchdown receptions and added this incredible pick 6. Salina Central attempted to rally back in the second half, but every Mustang punch was met with a campus counterpunch. The Colts knocked out the Mustangs to improve to 2-2 on the season.
Well, I think after the first big win of the season and then going into a tough loss after that, we took that loss into that game, and that's something you just can't do. So we had that weight on our shoulders, and defense came out flat, offense came out flat. We just didn't play. We didn't play well on either side of the ball, and then on top of that, we had people pointing fingers at coaches, at other teammates, and it's just you can't win a ball game like that.
With Salina Central, we came off of a couple of losses, and particularly the game before it, which was Salina South, and that was a very tough game for us. We just didn't come out very energetic. And coming off of Salina Central, we picked it up, and we seen people coming more together, and we were working, and we ended up winning that game, and I feel like that was a tone setter, and it kept us moving towards the end of the season.
After back-to-back trips to Salina, Campus prepared for their homecoming showdown with Andover. Quarterback Federico Harvey and linebackers Cole Martins and Corbin Gosnell were all nominated for Homecoming King. But each one of these guys knew that the real prize would be winning the first homecoming game in 11 years. Campus started fast with Rico Harvey throwing one up for Quentin Hicks for the touchdown. And then a screen pass to Sam Wise set up another Hicks touchdown to go up 14-0. But Andover's attacking defense was effective, and the Colts offense went cold for the rest of the night. It was the Colts defense, however, that came up through the clutch. Up 14-10 late in the fourth, Cameron Harvey picked off this pass in the end zone to seal the game. Campus won their homecoming game and improved to 3-2.
Andover was a good game for us. Cameron Harvey being Johnny on the spot with the jump pass there and the interception in the end zone, and I just think that victory kind of propelled us going forward into the latter part of the season on a positive note. They've got a really good freshman quarterback. Not looking forward to seeing him for the next 3 years, but I thought we stepped up that night and did enough to come away with the victory.
Our offense scored early 2 times, and as the game went on, the offense couldn't produce, and we all got kind of frustrated, but our defense had our backs, and they picked us up. And it was a great homecoming win, and first campus homecoming win in forever.
The following week saw a matchup with league rival Mays, and yet another game with blistering wind. Mays jumped out to a 10-0 lead with the wind at their back, but Braden Hake answered back in the second quarter, gaining 32 yards on this reception, which set up a Cameron Harvey touchdown. After another Mays score, Campus responded again with one of the most impressive touchdown catches of the season. Tyler Common with a full extension diving catch.
they DM me. Drop the top when it's cold, but you feel the heat. Be real with me, keep it 100, just be real with me. Eat it up like it's a feast. They say the dope on fleek. Tell on me. I saw my neck, baby, chill.
Mays proved to be a tough out, and the Eagles made plays all night behind an aggressive front seven on defense and their talented running back, Dalen Johnson. Campus had their chances after Mateo Martinez scored on this pick six, but Mays pulled out late and won 36-26. The Colts stood at 3-3, with league powerhouses Hutch and Derby looming on the schedule.
Going into the Hutch game, it was kind of do or die for us. I mean, we really needed a victory, and Hutch was 5-1 at that time, and heck, we were 3-3, so that was a big game for us.
The week of practice leading up to Hutch was focused, crisp, and fun. The players knew they had underachieved up to this point, and there was a sense that this time was the time to make a statement against Hutch. From the start, Campus played elite-level football against the 5-1 Salthawks. Rico Harvey connected with Tyler Common for a 31-yard touchdown on the opening drive. Common and Quentin Hicks were unguardable all night as their big reception set up a Rico Harvey rushing touchdown. Down 14-0, Hutch responded by driving all the way down to the 1-yard line. The next two plays set the tone for a historic night. Braden Hake recovered a Hutch fumble on the 1-yard line, then caught a 99-yard touchdown reception on offense. The second half of the game proved that this night was all about the Colts. Tyler Common kept Campus's opening drive alive with this diving grab, which ended after 3 more impressive receptions, 1 by Quentin Hicks and 2 by Cam Harvey. All night, the defense was phenomenal. Defensive linemen including Zach Tyler, Nathan Priest, Xavier Spone, and Brody Jones cut down the Hutch O-line to allow linebackers Mateo Martinez, Bryson Schroeder, Quentin Hicks, Corbin Gosnell, Tyler Common, and Braden Hake to make tackles. Cam Harvey prowled the middle of the field while Luke Weedle and Quay Jackson locked down the Hutch receivers. Campus would score once more on offense in the fourth quarter, and fittingly, it was Rico Harvey diving in for the score himself. The final score was 35-7. It was the first Campus victory over Hutch in 18 years, and one of the most dominant and historic wins in program history. But for Coach Slade, the coaching staff, and the players, it was a realization of the ability and potential of this year's team, and a confidence builder heading into Derby next week.
We came out fired up, and we put points on the board early, and I could tell they were getting down on themselves, and we just took it from there.
Against Hutchinson, we kind of came with a bit of a different look on defense. We showed a 5-man front where we haven't shown very much, and it's kind of a unique situation with them running the flex bone. We wanted to keep their offensive linemen off our second level guys as the linebackers and whatnot, so we decided to chop them rather than chopping us or blowing up a defensive lineman into the linebackers' laps. So I think that kind of caught Hutch off guard a little bit, and they didn't respond real well to it, and it led for guys like Quentin and Schroeder and those guys to roam free.
Colt Stadium was as packed as it ever been for Campus's showdown with their rivals from across the river. Derby has always boasted a large community interest because of their success, but the town of Hayesville showed up in full force for the game. Both sides were treated to fireworks early. On Derby's first offensive play, quarterback Hunter Igo ran for 89 yards for the score. It didn't take long for Campus to respond. Rico Harvey connected with Tyler Common on a 3rd and long. Then Cam Harvey caught a swing pass and ran 63 yards for the score. On the ensuing possession, the Campus defense held firm and stopped Derby on 4th and 1. After a blocked field goal attempt by Dalton Rogers, Corbin Gosnell forced a Brody Cruiser fumble, and Luke Weedle recovered. Four plays later, the state of Kansas was officially on notice. Harvey to Common for the touchdown. Campus led 14-7. The defense fed off of the offense's success. On Derby's next 3rd down, Cole Martins came up with a monster tackle for loss. But momentum is a funny thing in football. On 2nd and goal, the usually sure-handed Quentin Hicks dropped a pass in the end zone that would have put Campus up 21-7. Instead, the Colts settled for a Dalton Rogers field goal and went up 17-7. On the next Derby possession, Derby scored a touchdown on a quick 6-play drive, making the halftime score 17-14. After trading another field goal for a touchdown in the 3rd quarter, Derby's depth and experience ran away from the Colts. The final score certainly didn't reflect how close the game was, and after these last 2 games, no one wanted to play Campus in the playoffs.
Into the Derby game, which is always, the kids are pretty excited about that game. We played pretty dang good for 2.5 quarters, and I felt like, we really did some things that give them trouble this year, but just felt like in the long run they might have wore us down a little, but the kids played well, and the best thing about the Derby game was, we knew after that game, we knew we were going to play Hutch again, and our kids really bounced back, and we went into the Hutch game with some confidence and excited about giving an opportunity to win the first playoff game in school history.
For the 2nd year in a row, Campus drew Hutch in the first round of the playoffs. The matchup had a weird feel, with Campus having just recently defeated Hutch 35-7. This game would not be the blowout the previous game was. On a cold night in late October, Campus returned to Hutchinson and got right to work. Cam Harvey scored on this 25-yard screen pass. The offensive line blocked downfield to create Cam's running lane, as they had all season. Seth Valley, Gavin Brown, Robbie Adamson, Lucas Davenport, and Matt Clarkson started every game this season and were an integral part of the explosive offense. Rico and the receivers were again brilliant on the next drive. Sam Wise and Rico rushed for 2 more scores in this first half, and the Colts took a 27-7 lead into halftime.
Your contrast should be shredded. To my dogs on a private jet from the public house, and I kept a G, 1,000 click stars that are like the Paramount money. Everything I do is righteous, betting on me is the right risk, even in a crisis. I'm never on some switch of sides. I switch gears to the night shift, blacking out cause I'm enlightened. God talk to me in silence, but I hear him every time, man. Thank you, God. God bless you. Thank Last night took a L, but tonight I bounce back. Wake up every morning, by the night I count stacks. Knew that I was real when I hit it, bounce back. You ain't getting checks. Last night took a L, but
the second half was cold and tight. Hutch tried to furiously rally their way back into the game, but the Colt defense came through when the offense stalled out.
Look, I woke up in beast mode.
On a critical fourth down, Mateo Martinez came up with his drive-ending sack. When it came time to run out the clock, Coach Slade called in Quentin Hicks and the Hippo package to pick up the game-clinching first down. The 2017 Campus Colts football program had just made history. It was revenge for last season's loss. It was the second win against a powerhouse program in 2 weeks, and it guaranteed the first 500 or better season since 2006. And it was the first playoff win in the history of Campus High School.
I felt that they were going to be ready to play. They were mad that Campus High School beat them last time, so I knew we had to come in with a chip on our shoulder, and just the scoring in 30 seconds on whatever we scored, how fast we scored, and I knew it was going to be a good game.
We had them. We put them down pretty easy in the first half, and then the second half they came out with more intensity, and that was really kind of the Hutch we were expecting. We saw more of the hard run game, and it became more of a dogfight in the second half.
Campus had no intentions of stopping with one win. The Colts were determined to claw their way into a state championship. The second round of the playoffs matched them up with Wichita Northwest Grizzlies. Northwest was 9-1 and the 2 seed in the 6A West bracket. On a cold and drizzly Friday night in early November, the Colts ran into a buzzsaw. Behind running backs Brees Hall and Roy Johnson Jr., Northwest gashed the Colts defense. Sam Wise scored on a kickoff return for a touchdown in the second quarter, but it wasn't enough to keep up with the high-scoring Grizzly offense. It wasn't the way the Campus Colts wanted to end the season, but it was a season worth remembering.
Every day we lit, we Leon. Used to ride around with my in the Fiat. I walk around with more metal than a robot that heat. Gold chains and diamonds in my teeth. $14,000 on my feet. Mad cause it's the freak. I would be too cause the homie kissing me. Call me cousin Skeeter.
It was rough, man. They almost could have been state champs this year. They probably should have been. They're probably the best team in the state at the time. And it was a challenge going against them. You know, me personally playing against my brother and us playing against the second best team in 6A. And even though we lost, we still fought pretty hard against a good team. And, you know, I've never played into November. Like my 3 years playing at campus, never played November. And it was real fun getting to practice in the cold weather, being around all my friends. And it just shows how much the program has changed from when I was a freshman to now, you know.
The Colts amassed more postseason accolades than ever before. Coach Greg Slade was named AVCTL Coach of the Year. Frederico Harvey, Tyler Common, Quentin Hicks, and Seth Fowley were all recognized as first-team offensive players in the AVCTL. Quentin Hicks also earned first team for defense, as did Cam Harvey. Dalton Rogers earned first team all-kicker for the second year in a row. Cam Harvey garnered a second team honor at running back, and Matt Clarkson took home second team O-line. Finally, Mateo Martinez was recognized with an honorable mention at defensive end. After league awards were announced, Frederico Harvey was named to the Wichita Eagle All-Metro team.
One main reason, obviously, that I had a good season is because I had a great quarterback throwing me the ball.
I mean, I just have to thank all the coaches because really it's not just one, and it's all of them because they work towards it. And I want to thank my teammates because they've really helped me out, and everybody wants to work towards a common goal. And sure, we can be playing for ourselves and we can be playing for the team, but everybody's there to contribute, and that's all that matters. So I thank everybody for that.
The community of Hayesville is excited about what the future holds for campus football. 7 offensive starters and 5 defensive starters return next year. But this year's senior class was instrumental in bringing this program from the doldrums of the AVCTL to playoff contender. Seniors Hunter Sardenas, Lucas Davenport, Dylan Ecton, Elijah Gates, Corbin Gosnell, Braden Hake, Frederico Harvey, Quay Jackson, Matt Clarkson, Cole Martins, Anthony Queen, Dalton Rogers, Zach Tyler, and Luke Weedle all left an incredible mark on the history of this program. The Colts will build on their success in 2018. One senior in the campus program has served as an incredible inspiration for his teammates, in spite of never having played a down. And that senior is Cedric Buckles. Cedric was a star athlete for the 2018 class during his middle school years. Sadly, a medical issue kept him sidelined all throughout high school. Nevertheless, he was always a mainstay at practice, assisted with huddles, and motivated and encouraged his teammates when they needed him the most.
You know, seniors, it's pretty awesome. In the 5 years I've been here, this is the biggest group of seniors that were four-year football players, and one of the biggest classes that contributed the most as a senior. And I'm just proud of you to finish, and I want to wish you good luck. After graduation in May, it's just to go on and continue your education or your trade and impact this world, and do what you can to help. And I know people always make fun of me talking about this, but I'll be interested to see where you guys are in 10 years.